Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello, win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Thursday, February 9th. Landon, I blame us for last night. We didn't do a show Sunday. We aren't dedicated to the craft. Consistency. A trip to Vegas does not automatically say no. I'm taking the fault for this one. Hand up. It's on us. We're gonna get it back. We're gonna bounce back better than ever. Last night sucked. And we're gonna talk about it because we have to.
I'm not taking the blame. I would have dunked the ball.
Okay. All right. I'm going to stop you right there. We are going to.
It would have been a very crisp layup for sure.
For sure. Use that square. That's what's there.
Yeah.
We will talk about that game, but we'll try to be excited and not super negative. I don't know how you're not after that game because choked it away is an understatement, in my opinion. Here I am going negative. We'll try. We'll try our best. I'm really sorry if you want.
Try.
Right. I'm really sorry if you want good news. If you want to be angry, just send me your anger in the chat and I will try. I think I'm always the contrarian. That's negative. What is it? I'm just always the devil's advocate. I can play either side of the coin. I'm better than Stephen A. Smith because I can argue both sides. I don't know if he's that good.
Play for both teams.
Yeah, for sure. Switch hitter. I can do whatever needs to be done. So yeah, let me know. I've actually done that before. I've played on another team. Yeah. Literally soccer O team needed an extra player. I was the only one that would do it. So wasn't fun. But yeah, then we are going to talk about baseball. That'll get our hopes up. So I'm excited to do that.
Yeah, I almost had to bong somebody.
Wait.
On Twitter.
Dude, spring is bonking season. These women, and I don't blame them. They get riled up for Tony.
Yeah, I think I'm just going to bring like a squirt bottle to every game and just like squirt. Yeah, squirt women.
I would love that. I would love nothing more than that. But yeah,
water's not assault, right? Can't be.
Yeah, it might be nowadays.
Never know.
Lindsey Nelson, Dave Van Horn, Tim Corbin, they will have you tossed so fast.
Oh yeah.
Don't do that. Don't you dare.
Yeah, Tim Corbin's going to check my squirt bottle.
Oh. All right, we're getting it is after dark. We got started 30 minutes late. We appreciate you hopping in. It might get weird. You know how more important issues after dark can be. We can't help it. Sun's gone down this side of town. We will hop into the show, but first I'm going to tell you guys about our good friends at Underdog Collectibles. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectibles store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. Open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember to always bet on the Underdog. I was so close to making all the way through that ad read with no mistakes and just choked it away at the end like our good friends.
You're crushing it. You had a wide open lane to the whole time.
Meatball coming in, and I missed it. Let's talk about last night, and I mean, really, the final 18 seconds was kind of the story of the game. In that final 18 seconds, it just felt like no matter what we did, it wasn't right. Vanderbilt was hustling harder. It felt like they were just getting to the right spots and we weren't. And then I don't even want to go over our defensive mistakes too hard because it's so frustrating. But those defensive mistakes in the 18 seconds were not the first ones. They weren't the first lapses of the game, man. And it's so I'm not saying they're the best. Hand up, I thought this team could compete with 19. I never said they were better, but I will hand up and say I thought they could compete. I'm kind of out on that one already. And I know I'm not trying to say season's over, put it away, because I do think there's a ton of talent. But my God, do we have a ways to go.
Yeah, I mean, you can't like say like this team's going to get through the first week. You can't for sure say this team's going to get through the first weekend. You know, that 19 team, you for sure thought that they were getting through that first weekend. No, they didn't, but you for sure thought that they were going to.
Yeah, and I'm not basing this all on last night either. This is everything after the Texas game. This is the Kentucky game. Like, this is not just – I'm not putting it on last night. I just thought kind of last night it all came to a head, and it was just a real bummer. And you know, I did see some good points even before the game was over. This is Vanderbilt. This is a rivalry. Every time Tennessee's played at the Coliseum since or auditorium, since we've been good, it's still been a struggle. That number 119 team literally was carried on the back of Grant Williams and free throw shooting, coincidentally. So yeah, it's not just one game. Now that game was really frustrating, and I'm not trying to just dog Julian Phillips. I don't think that's his end all be all career. And it is a freshman mistake, but it's not a freshman mistake that you can happen in February.
Yeah, and I don't understand the whole freshman mistake. I mean, this kid in a year he should be playing in the NBA.
Right. And it's not all Julian Phillips' fault too. I mean, that moment sucks because it was highlighted, but Zakiah had a chance to go up for a layup, contested, but you're probably at the free throw line, worst case scenario. And I saw someone applauded me and said, you don't take it there because there's 18 seconds. You want to run off the clock. You're up by 2. There's no running up the clock. You take your points. Shot clock's dead. You may not get that ball back. Yeah, if you get it for sure too to go up 2 possessions under 30 seconds, you take it. I don't even think it's for sure too. I think it's a good look too. Now, it's one of those you better get fouled if you don't make it too. But yeah, you take it. Yeah, it's something going to the rim, and it's unfortunate. I mean, it just like it was almost like Tennessee players bet on Vanderbilt, so they just had to like somehow give it back to them. It was like I guess Vanderbilt was – you're playing with them in a video game and you pause it and switch the controller over to Tennessee and make them give it back to you so you can shoot a game-winning shot. That's what it looked like. That is a pro move that I have not done in a while. Yeah. I'm a rage quitter now. I forgot that you could just switch sides. Yeah, just switch sides. That's a pro move, dude. So that's exactly what it looked like to me. I mean, it was abysmal. Julian Phillips, and it kind of happened before that. I mean, Tobe Awaka fouls a three-point shooter. And I don't know if he touched him. I don't know, but you were way too close for comfort in that situation. Yeah. And then your clutch guy, your senior, who's done it so many times, just bricks the front end of the 1-and-1. I mean, just and then we just leave somebody wide open in the corner. I mean, same guy too. And I've seen people point out it wasn't just Vescovi's fault. Zakiah could have done a better job at the switch. Him and Kumwa maybe. Mm-hmm. And I mean, Zakiah probably could have done a better job, but Zakiah was on his hip to the rim. He didn't need help in that situation. He's throwing up, maybe not prayer's not the right word, but he's throwing up a shot hoping it hits the right part of the backboard. Vescovi, in that situation, you give up the 2, brother. And Christopher Gabriel said it on the call voluntary reactions last night. That's not a mistake he ever makes. He said it. We don't know what's going on with him. His basketball IQ just looked low there. That's not something he normally is doing. Mm-hmm. I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, I mean, here we are. Like, this is February. It's not like it's December. This is February, and in a month we're playing win or go home. And here we are making mistakes like that. I mean, like you said with Julian Phillips, that just can't happen. It can't happen. Rick Barnes shouldn't have to tell you, hey, if you get an open layup, take it. That's another thing, man. I want to be mad at Rick Barnes, but my God, the people just unrealistic. And he yelled at Zakiah after, and he yelled at Julian Phillips. I can't imagine he's And yeah, you probably say that in the huddle. You take the free two as they're going back out there. But like you said, it shouldn't have to be said to that group out on the floor. You've got a guy that may be in the NBA next year. You've got veterans across the board elsewhere. It shouldn't have to be said, even if he didn't. And it was terrible. And I want to go back to Vescovi for a second because maybe you had a different view. But what is up with our defense either over-rotating or not rotating enough? I talked about this early on in the year. This team didn't do this. It didn't look like that 19 team that gave up threes at will. It hasn't looked like that up to this point. And last night, we looked exactly like that.
Yeah, I don't know if they thought they didn't have any time, which, I mean, they barely got it off. And they wouldn't have got it off if they didn't put an extra 0.8 seconds during the timeout.
Right. Also, SEC Network, it's a buzzer. Show the replay. Like, they're looking at the monitor. I don't want to see a bunch of, I don't know if you can call them fans, just random Vanderbilt students that happen to have a free night, so they stepped into the gym. I don't need to see them jumping up and down in the middle of the court when there's a chance that the game may not be over. Yeah. Or sorry, it would be over, but Tennessee would have won.
Yeah, just unfortunate. I mean, you can't allow that to happen. You can't allow it to happen when a team's they're like 44%, and they're ranked like 200th and 250th in the country in 3-point percentage, and here they are against Tennessee just lighting it up. I'm glad they choose that night to be the Golden State Warriors because, I mean, holy crap. It just sucks because it's Vanderbilt. I would rather lose to any other team like that except for Vanderbilt.
I don't know if I would have liked to lose like that to anybody, but yeah, that does make it worse. It builds on it for sure. Yeah. But it was, I mean, and what really does suck is the last, I don't know, 6 minutes, 5 minutes was such a fun basketball game to watch. It felt like both teams were trying to throw blows. Both defenses were coming up big in areas. I was like, this has actually turned into a good basketball game where it was just real ugly for a while. And then, I mean, just terrible. I don't know what else. Just awful basketball.
Well, it takes away from the great games that, I thought Vescovi had a really good game shooting the ball. Tobe Awaka, I thought, was really good off the bench. Tyreek Key found a shot. Just those guys had a good game, and it was just negated by terrible decisions down the stretch and leaving somebody wide open to beat you.
And, man, what about Key just being hot from everywhere on the floor? He was hot from deep. He could step inside. He didn't want to, but stepped inside on that 1-3. He was good from 14 feet. I mean, the dude was just on last night.
Well, and that's the frustrating part. It's like nobody's consistent. Josiah Jordan James was a no-show last night. I know he got hurt, but he was a no-show up until then. And against Auburn, he goes 14 and 15. It's like, where can we get some consistency within this basketball team? There's none. No. Zakai looked like the best point guard in the country up until 2 games ago.
Well, he kills himself.
Disappeared.
He kills himself getting in foul trouble early. One really dumb foul. One pretty questionable foul, but gets in foul trouble early. Leave room for the questionable ones, my friend. Yeah, he only plays 24 minutes last night. How does a point guard play that good when you can't get it? You got to stay out of foul trouble early. You have to.
Yep.
It was frustrating, man. And I really don't know the fix because there were in Florida last week, so many uncharacteristic mistakes out of this team. So I really don't know what the fix is. If there is a fix, I don't know if it can be done in less than a month.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about this could be the best team in the country, and here we are. Like, I mean, we're probably in the top 25, barely.
We're the top 25. I mean, come on.
Well, I'm saying like the way we played the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
I mean, I would say probably not. I mean, the switch has been flipped that fast, and I don't understand really why. I think post presence is something they don't really have a true scorer down low. Olivier, during that Texas game, he looks like an All-American, and then he just is kind of okay in this game, and some games just disappears. It's weird.
Yeah, and I really thought he just, and I know you're dealing with a 7-footer, and that's tough, but I think his 10 points was. I don't think it was a good 40 minutes from him. And I think 10 points is probably generous for the performance he had. I think he's hot and cold too. He's probably one of the hottest and coldest guys on the team.
Yeah. Well, if you're going to be cold, at least guard Robbins. I mean, holy crap.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is his cold?
And can we get a foul called on him? I mean, he's throwing elbows. He had Zakai in a chokehold at one point and no foul was called.
Yeah, that's another thing. The officiating, I'm glad they kind of let it. I mean, the credit to them in the second half before there were real decisions to be made. They just let it play and they let both teams play. So that's fine with me if you're going to let both teams play. But good, yeah. It's one of those things. It's hard to really complain about. I spent hardly any time focused on the officiating because we played that poor.
Yeah,
I want to hate the officials. Let me hate the officials. Play good basketball.
And I don't know like how much of it was poor up until the very end was poor, piss poor. But like up until that, like you said, it was kind of a good ball game. You know, Vanderbilt was hot from three. Sometimes that just happens, but Tennessee was clawing back and took the lead, and it looked like Tennessee had it won. And you were going to beat a desperate team. And it looks like this team is just – they have to play the underdog role.
Yeah.
Because I think they can play with anybody in the country. But if, you got people, they're being the hunted, they just don't play well in that.
Yeah, I'm disgusted looking.
And people were mad at me. I was a little hot last night. I tweeted – it's officially baseball season, but we're 8 days away. Like it's not like
it is.
It's not false. Like it's fact. Now I did say that because I was pissed off that we lost. Yes. But I mean, how can you really trust this team going into toward the end of the season? I mean, you got a tough stretch. You got Missouri, Alabama, at Kentucky, at A&M. I mean, it's going to be a rough couple weeks if you don't get some things figured out. And losing Josiah, it looks like it's his ankle. Wasn't able to put much weight on it when he was leaving the court, and that's tough.
Yeah, at least it looks like it's ankle and it's not a
reoccurring
re-injuring the knee. It doesn't look like. That's the good news of that. But yeah, it's definitely tough if he's down for any amount of time. Because you've got to use every game opportunity right now to figure it out.
Figure it out. I had a guy tell me that I should go cheer for Bama. I wish I could, honestly. Right?
No.
I mean, I don't. Like, I can't. I physically cannot.
I wish I could cheer for a Bama-like program.
Yeah.
I guess he means in football. I mean, they've had recent success in basketball, but not much like this season. They also lost by 10 to a terrible Oklahoma team.
They lost by more than that. They lost by like.
They lost by 20. Sorry,
was
it 25? They lost by 20.
Yeah.
Weren't they 10-point favorites? Is that what I'm thinking of?
Yeah.
Yeah. I wonder what it feels like to lose a game you're 10-point favorites in. I could not imagine that. Just what a weird feeling that would be. Speaking, I don't want to get into that. Never mind. Sorry, moving on.
Yeah, don't be mad. I'm a huge Tennessee fan. Don't tell me to go
fake.
Yeah,
you're fake, dude.
I was having a moment. I'm glad I don't do a reaction show after. It would have been bad. I yelled a lot of cuss words last night.
We learned our lesson after I think it was Missouri in 2017.
Yeah, we can't do that.
That video might be available somewhere still. I bet it's on the internet.
I hope it's.
They say nothing. They say nothing goes away. So.
I hope it's not. I hope it's gone forever.
I would like for me and you to have possession of it.
I feel like it could get taken away from us and it could be used as blackmail. So I'm gonna say no. But we just got back from Vegas, man. Maybe it is our fault. We brought back terrible luck with us.
Hey, I'm working on a bet right now. I'm working on another teaser. I had one teaser last night. I'm working on one more.
Hey guys, people don't win money in Vegas.
If they said they do, they're liars.
Yeah, no. Because if they win a little bit of money, casinos are spending it in food and airfare and Airbnb. Vegas is getting that money somehow.
Honestly, though, every meal I ate in Vegas, I don't regret paying the amount I paid.
Except for Hooters.
Oh, I was really just mad about it. The food was delicious, and I do not like Hooters. That Hooters food was good. The meal, the experience pissed me off.
Yeah, the experience is bad.
That's the only one I regret. That doesn't count.
Yeah.
I don't think.
Yeah.
Also, you kind of told on us going to Hooters in Vegas. It's a pretty lame move.
It was in the casino. Like nothing is in walking distance.
Now they know we're playing $1 blackjack, Landon. Stop telling on us, man.
I do have a kind of a story for Vegas, and I want to get somebody else's take to see, or if y'all want to get in the chat and let us know what you would do in this situation. So our buddy Dylan, who's part of this show, I'm going to tell on him. It's okay. It's fine. We're not mad. We're just a little bit disappointed. So he tells us he's giving us $50 to gamble with. Cool. So we're betting like we got $50 in the bank and we get to the last day and still don't have the money. And he pays for lunch, which was weird. I mean, whatever. Paid for lunch. He's like, I'll just divide it up and I'll send the remaining amount to your Venmo. Okay, cool. Well, we get to dinner, and right after dinner, Caleb's like, hey man, you should go put all that money you're going to give us on red on roulette. And if it hits, you double it and we'll just pay you back for the lunch. Well, Dylan's like, screw it. And just went and does it and hits. And we're like, okay, cool. We got $100. Well, he's won some more money. He got pretty hot on the blackjack table. Good for him. He was the only one. So good for him.
Claps.
Yeah. And wake up the next morning, got a $15 Venmo.
I love how salty Landon is about this. It makes the story better.
I mean, like, I love the guy, and I wasn't expecting the $50, but don't tell me I get 100 and give me 15.
I don't know if he ever technically agreed to my idea. He didn't say a word to me. He just walked over and did it.
Right.
So I don't know what the terms and conditions were.
Yeah.
But yeah, that story is
he blames it that he was inebriated and doesn't. It's whatever.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna drink enough at your wedding where I'm gonna get my money's worth.
A little disrespectful, Landon, to say no one wins money in Vegas. If I had stayed playing red and black all night at random roulette tables throughout Vegas, I would have came out ahead.
You should have done it.
Dude, I lost. I was in the high winning percentages for that. We would just walk in casinos if we were just on our way to dinner. And my rule was we passed a roulette table, just pick a color off the top of my head, play it, and I was hitting at a very high percentage. So I don't like these lies.
So let us know what you would do in that situation. Who should get what? Should it 15 or 100? That's what we need to know.
I didn't. Landon's the only dishonest part a little bit is the story. It didn't happen exactly like that of me telling Dylan that, but
it was very just like, hey, you should do this, and he turns around and just does it.
Yeah, I did.
That's what happened.
I did tell him that he didn't have to, and I told him also you can ask everybody if they agree, which most of the group already had. That was a fun hand, and we were hot at that table. We hit red or black 3 or 4 times in a row before that, back and forth. And one of the guys I think was kind of mad. He was like, "These dudes, it's stupid." He's like, "They've not missed."
Don't hate the player, hate the game.
Oh, Vegas is fun though. It's one of those cities I don't know if I ever really want to do again.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Maybe like a few years do again, but go-kart racing.
It was definitely go-kart was fun. Racing. Yeah, you
Not
are
me.
bad. What was that?
Well, I'm bad. I'm bad, and then those dudes just made me so nervous.
Like I'm a terrible driver. I know.
I'm terrified to wreck, and that didn't help.
Dude, you got bumpers on that thing.
And then I was terrified of those dudes that were. I wasn't trying to go to the hospital because some drunk dude was racing his buddy.
Yeah, Sam Darnold went straight into the wall.
Yeah, I'm not going to get wrecked by a guy wearing a Sam Darnold jersey. I was defensive driving.
A Jets jersey at that.
Yeah. Oh, wow. You can't hate Carolina now?
Well, I mean, at least it's his current team. Wearing an old jersey for a bad quarterback. At least we're his current team.
Hey, he got that at Ross for like $7. Why are you hating?
Yeah, I'm surprised somebody didn't have a Jake Locker. I still see Jake Locker jerseys at.
Oh my
Ross.
God, I'm gonna lose this teaser on a freaking last second shot.
Hey, that's just Vegas, man.
Oh wait, no, FAU's going to the free throw line. We're good. We're good, boys. Clap it up. Yeah, Vegas was a ton of fun. I will never. I don't think I hit a single sports bet in Vegas.
The
Not
only
a
one I
single
hit
one.
was the Bucks. That
I
was
had
the
them
only
in a
one.
parlay.
I think I went 1 for 3.
The more I talk about it, the more I hate that place. So I don't know why we're.
Yeah, it's kind of gross, but it was cool to just bro out, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Oh no, I had a great time. Friday night's the hardest I've laughed in my entire life.
Yeah. And Caleb also snores like a grizzly bear. We've learned.
Truth. I mean, you can ask anybody. It's. I don't know what you're gonna do about it though. I mean,
it is
get a
what it is.
CPAP. I might need to. Might be to do.
Well, let's get the Vols in the NFL draft.
Yeah, let's talk it.
Yeah, so there's a lot of mock drafts going on.
Speaking of Vegas, we ran into our good friend Jakob Johnson.
Yeah, Jakob Johnson. Saw him, fullback for the Raiders, VFL.
The Raiders.
Yeah, that was really cool. He was super great dude. You know, I think it kind of made his day that we were just like, hey, you played for UT, didn't you? And he's like, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I doubt he's ever been recognized in Vegas for that. Sure.
Yeah.
Maybe since he's there so often, maybe, but probably pretty slim. And he was the nicest guy in the world. I mean, that's my only interaction with him, but so nice.
Yeah. Yeah, love that guy. Hopefully we can get him on the show soon. We'll try to work that out.
I was embarrassed that I had a massive what are those things called? Those that drink I had.
Oh, daiquiri.
I had a massive daiquiri and I was like,
oh dude. That daiquiri is delicious.
It was good. It was 5 shots. No, I got 5 extra shots. So however many shots.
Oh my God. Was that a $50 drink?
37. Did you not remember me walking away and going, don't even ask me, I'm pissed? She made it sound like it wasn't going to be that much. She was like, yeah, get some more shots.
Oh yeah, she's like, do you want a shot of this and this and this? And I'm like, I mean, I would love to, but I don't want to pay for that. So
she made it sound like it was like one add-on.
Everything in Vegas, they're just trying to get $1 out of you somehow.
Oh, for sure.
I got handcuffed and was asked for money. I mean, I told Raven about that. It was strange.
Oh, you should get the pictures.
No, delete. deny. Let's get the Vols in the NFL draft real quick. So there's a lot of mock drafts going around. Man, I've seen some Tennessee players like be mocked to go high.
Yeah,
like Jalen Hyatt, number 12. I mean, that's insane. He didn't even play hardly any last year.
Well, and I think they're probably already looking at his measurables and going, yeah, we're going to. So I said after the combine, I thought, that's when he'd move up. Mm-hmm. My guess is they've already looked at the measurables and gone, this is where we're going to put him at. That's because I don't think he's going to climb any higher, but he's going to be one of the fastest guys of the draft.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Or at the combine, excuse me.
Speed doesn't have a bad day. So, yeah, I thought, going number 12 to the Texans, I think that's a little high. But I could see going him, in the 20s somewhere. And hopefully he's with a good team. I don't really want to see him go to the Texans because I wanted to see him go with a good quarterback.
Yeah, that would be that'd be brutal. Could be a good, it's interesting though. It could work out, and I mean, he could potentially be an early impact guy if they're anything like they were last year.
Yeah. Joey Boots said, unless the Texans get Hooker. Yeah, maybe. We'll see. I mean, who's their quarterback now? Davis Mills? I mean,
Davis Mills, baby.
Hopefully somebody can beat him now. He does have a long neck. He can see everybody.
Opposite of Drew Brees. Did you see Hendon on Pat McAfee show?
Was he with the Bush's baked beans shirt?
Yeah, dude. Repping Bush's, baby.
That thing looked huge on him.
He's just the nicest guy in the world, man.
He is.
Like, he just seems so genuine. That's a guy that's easy to root for right there. Easy to root for. Listen, I don't blame other people for hating guys like Drew Gilbert. I love him because he's a Vol. If you're playing for the other team, man, you can't help but hate a guy like that. Yeah. I don't know how you hate Hooker, though.
Yeah. Yeah, and he's another one that has been mocked to go in the first round. I mean, I would love nothing more to see. We have 4 guys so far to be projected to be in the first round in different mock drafts. So probably doesn't work out that way, but I think it's huge for your program if you're able to get a couple guys in there. I think Jalen Hyatt has a really good shot, and I think Darnell Wright. I mean, him being the offensive lineman of the week at the Senior Bowl, and you know, he had such a monster year. I mean, the guys he had to block and didn't give up a sack, Will Anderson, BJ Ojolari, guys that are projected, you know, Will Anderson could maybe, I don't know what the Bears are going to do, but he could potentially be the number 1 draft pick. And then BJ Ojolari, I think, is a first rounder too. So, I think he had a phenomenal year. And if you're wanting a really good tackle body, I think Darnell Wright he can play in any offense. You know, he played in Jeremy Pruitt's offense where they didn't score and it was horrible to watch. And then he played in an up-tempo offense. So I think he's got some versatility as well. That was a shot at Jeremy Pruitt too.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned Darnell's year. That's just literally halfway through. Talk about a money year for him. So another guy that's you want to root for. Yep. All right, I'll just say it. I'm going to root for all the Vols. Might as well just get it out there in the open. Want to be clear with my audience.
Yeah, one I was surprised with is Byron Young. Mel Kiper Jr. put him, I think, 20th to the Seahawks, which him and Darrell Taylor would be on the same position, same team. I mean, having them on both sides of the ball would be pretty cool to see, but I don't know. It's just a hard one for me to think he goes that high.
Yeah, for sure. It does make me – he seemed like a guy who did – struggle with the decision whether to go or not because he was available. I guess it would have been his COVID year. He's that weird because he had to sit out 2 games for eligibility issues.
Yeah.
So I think he had a COVID year left. Obviously played. He probably got some stock against Clemson. But I do think after making that decision, he probably got graded out pretty good. Now I don't know what that means, where he got graded out at. So that one still shocks me first round, but I'm going to guess he goes higher than we suspect.
I mean, it just goes to show you like how important that position is in football.
Oh yeah, and Rodney Garner's coach.
Yeah,
that helps.
Yeah, for sure. And then Cedric Tillman, we'll see where he ends up. Him having the injuries this season didn't help his stock at all, but hopefully you see him go 2nd, 3rd round. And, just seeing those guys get drafted that high is pretty incredible because I think going into the season, we're like, who would get drafted?
It was pretty much just Cedric was kind of your only thought.
Yeah. Cedric and probably Darnell Wright later on.
And if Jalen Hyatt's a first-round pick after the season he has, I got to think Cedric comes out the season he had last year, and he's close to a first-round pick.
Yeah.
And that injury sucks. I wonder what kind of ground he can make up at the Combine. I'm excited to watch the Combine. I feel like we haven't really wanted to necessarily watch the Combine the last few years. I'm excited we got a reason to. I love the Combine.
Yeah, for sure. And that's, again, that's just big for your program. I think the reason why wide receivers want to go to Ohio State is, that they're sprinkled all over the NFL. You see them drafted in the first round all the time. This is just going to be an even more of a reason for Tennessee to land some high-profile wide receivers. Because not only can you be a Biletnikoff winner, you can also go in the first round of the NFL draft.
Yeah, and Pro Bowl. Tennessee's Pro Day. Tennessee's Pro Day is going to be fun to see the guys that show up. I'm sure all 32 teams will be there this year, and maybe even some big name guys. I think Mike Vrabel's attended a few the last few years.
Yeah, he's a big Tennessee guy. I heard.
He might like him.
I'm just glad the NFL is kind of not like the NBA. The NBA, NBA players woke up today and didn't know what team they were on.
I went and read the trades that happened before the deadline. I couldn't make it halfway through the article without being confused. I gave up. I know Kevin Durant went to the Suns, and I'm good. That's all I need to know.
Yep. Well, this is kind of a fail, but I'll go ahead and or a stupidity, but I'll go ahead and say it. So Patrick Beverley D'Angelo Russell got traded to the Lakers. Patrick Beverley said the gang's back together because they played in Minnesota last year. And then, like, 2 hours after that, Patrick Beverley gets traded to the Magic.
LeBron never sleeps when it comes to trade season.
Got to. NBA is just weird. I mean, it's hard to
follow. It is hard to follow.
It is. I mean, I think the NFL is – it's definitely, like, worse than it used to be. Like, you see guys just be there for years and years and years, and that's just not the case anymore. But at least, like, you can follow it a little bit. The NBA is just like you have the off season, and then you have the trade deadline in the middle. I mean, it's just insane throughout the whole entire year.
Yeah, and I don't think this is necessarily completely a problem in the NBA. But there are some superstars that are this way. I don't feel like you have superstars in the NFL leaving unless they're on the back end of their careers. You mentioned how long it feels like they stay if I mean obviously.
So you think the NBA needs a franchise tag?
No, because you wouldn't franchise tag a guy like Kevin Durant.
Or would you?
Well, I guess you could, but surely
he would hate it.
Yeah, like what's the point? He'd probably hold out. I mean,
yeah.
But yeah, they probably have rules. The CBA probably has something where they can't franchise tag a guy over X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Surely not. Unless the NBA franchise tag is different.
Maybe.
I don't know. But I've never been a big NBA fan anyways. The closest team is Atlanta, I guess. And I don't know. Never been.
The Hawks just don't do it for you.
Well, I kind of just hate Atlanta. I associate them with Georgia. I don't like them.
Yeah, that's fair.
Never like the Falcons. So,
what about Memphis? You go Memphis.
I
it's
do
not
cheer
close, but
yeah, I do. I guess like if you ask me my NBA team, I'm telling you the Grizzlies just because they're a Tennessee team. I like Ja Morant, but I mean, I don't have any reason to watch him every night on my TV.
Well, it's hard to watch those games anyway.
Well, that's another thing. It kind of like baseball, 100 or 80 games is just a lot. It is fun to bet on though. Any night of the week, you can place a bet. That is fun.
Yeah.
Agreed. That.
All right, let's get to baseball.
Baseball. It's almost. What'd you say? 8 days away.
We are 8 days away. Yes.
8 days away from seeing a phenomenal bullpen, man. I'm excited for this pitching rotation and bullpen. It's going to be – you thought last year was fun? Buckle up.
Yeah, and Tony Vitello did a little preview with our good friend Eric Kane, and he was talking about the pitchers, and he said it's the deepest staff that they've had since they've been there, which is not like too –
It has to be. I don't think that's a hot take.
Yeah, like it like last year was probably it, and then you return pretty much everybody except Ben Joyce and Redmond Walsh.
Yeah.
So yeah, you get everybody back. Camden Sewell's back. I mean,
you get all your
weekend
starters back, which I feel like is the biggest. Obviously, thankfully, you get a guy like Kirby back, and then you just mentioned Camden. But I think the biggest thing is that you returned a weekend rotation of All-American or either potential or All-Americans. Yeah.
And them having the picture of holding the basketball like the Miami Heat, that's pretty cool.
Did you see nothing too fancy, no free ads? You guys owe us. Did you see their shirt for the Chases?
Pretty cool. Yeah. Is it Chases? Some Dylan Chases? Okay. I thought it was something about the Aces.
Yeah. They obviously spelled Chases with a C. And then they have them on like ace cards.
Okay.
It's pretty cool. I don't love those nothing too fancy shirts. I didn't, like the folk smash, nothing. I don't wear print. I'm wearing a printed hoodie right now. Life is good hoodie, but I don't normally wear those. That's a shirt I may need to purchase. It's just, it looks cool. Hey.
I'm not a huge fan of that material. The Bella Canvas shirts, I just can't. I can't do it.
You gotta get XL. That's the key.
It just fits so weird on my body. I don't know what it is.
XL,
like the
XL,
sleeves are tight, and if I get an XL, the sleeves are still tight.
Dang, dude, stop lifting weights. I mean, what do you want me to tell you? Go double XL. I mean, this man's over here banging out 50s with dumbbells.
Strong.
Golly.
I'm trying to be like you, dog.
I mean, you can't, so why try? This is all natural, baby.
You look good, dude.
Fueled by beer and pizza.
Hey, I mean, that's two of my favorite things. So
At altitude.
That altitude will get you every time. I do think it is a pretty awesome tradition that the alums give back to buy like the team cleats.
Yeah, I didn't. Oh, they buy the cleats. I saw the tennis shoes. Or were those cleats?
Those are cleats, yeah.
Oh.
They're like the trainers and cleats. Yeah, and those white ones are sick.
They're filthy, dude. They are. Yeah, I didn't know that was a thing either. So that's something.
I think they started, or I know they tweeted about it last year. I guess it's not. It's a tradition, so I'm sure they've done it since they've been here.
I think that
a lot of guys contributing to that. I think that's really cool, and it just kind of shows the culture of that program.
Yeah.
Guys want to be around the program. Like we talked to Connor Pavoloni, and he's still around it all the time. They're welcoming for former players to come back, and then I think that gives them a reason. Hey, they poured into us. We're going to pour back into the program, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah, I think the coolest thing, and I'm sure there's some guys that maybe didn't have the best experience because that's just the way it goes. Not everyone's going to be happy. But it just seems like an overwhelming number of the guys loved their experience here with Tony Vitello and everyone else. And like you said, they just want to give back. And that tradition's a cool way to kind of give you a reason to be involved. You know, everyone can pitch in to do that. You don't have to be special. And like you said, it's a lot of guys that graduated several years ago or went on several years ago or contributed to it. So probably been happening for a while. And dude, I love the gray ones. I'm not a big fan of dark cleats normally. They're, I don't know, white cleats just pop. I don't know what it is. But those gray ones are sick. The high tops.
That'd be I wouldn't love those in baseball.
The high top. Yeah, I'm probably with you in terms of feel, but they look good.
Yeah, they look good. Yeah, for sure. I think they're the Reacts. I think that's what they are. Yeah, they all look. Even the black ones. Like I'm not a fan of black cleats, but even those look good.
Yeah, I agree. I love the laces.
Yeah.
Are they? I don't even know. Yeah, I guess they are checkerboard. I need a pair of checkerboard laces.
And then the
checkerboard laces.
Checkerboard laces. There you go. Yeah. Put your name on it. The roster was finally released. It took them a while, but they got it. And got a few number changes in there. So Christian Moore is going to be number 1. He was number 7 last year. Maui Ahuna is number 2. Dude, middle infield being number 1 and number 2. That is badass. They're already like, without even seeing them play, already one of the top duos in the nation because they're number 1 and 2. It just makes you look so much better. Look good, play good.
We know they're
1 and 2.
You have no problem with that.
Yeah. And you had some more kind of changes in there. Not a ton. I'm not going to read all those, but man, it's getting close. 8 days.
Sure.
We also are going to have the bat flip's going to be back.
Oh, yeah.
We'll be back not this Monday, but next Monday after the first series in Arizona. We'll have that. Me and Dylan Taylor, Kay will be producing that and being around it as well. So looking forward for that. So stay tuned. And I'm just excited. They did have some projections, like the SEC coaches did their preseason. Tennessee was picked first in the East, but not a single coach picked them to win the SEC. I thought that was strange. LSU got 11 votes, I think. Ole Miss got 1.
With LSU, the Mississippis, and Arkansas being where they should be this year, it'd be hard to pick. At least, I mean, single ones may be shocking, but I'd be shocked if Tennessee was favored.
Yeah, that's true. I get that. I just don't know how they didn't get one.
That does shock. That's the shocking part. For sure.
LSU got 11. Tennessee doesn't get one. That's
People do love. I can't wait. Alex Box, we're coming for you.
yeah. And Tennessee had 4 on the preseason. All SEC teams: Camden Sewell, Maui Ahuna, Chase Dolan, or Chase Burns. Dude, they're not giving people aren't giving enough love to Blake Burke and Christian Moore and Jared Dickey. Those are 3 guys that really helped this team last year be, as good as they were. So I'm a little surprised that they're not included in some of these.
Yeah, and I think too what people are kind of missing with them is that, they didn't play a ton. You're talking about their bats that helped a lot.
Mm-hmm.
You haven't even seen them play in the field yet.
Yep.
Obviously they did not weekends is what I mean. So I'm with you. Look out. Did we also decide who the official Gator killer was? Is it Jalen Wright or is it Camden Sewell?
Oh, it's Camden Sewell, 100%.
Okay. All right. Just making sure.
The Gator killer, it wouldn't be Jalen. Oh, you said Jalen Wright. I thought you said Hyatt. Yeah, it's got to be Camden Sewell. Now maybe Jalen Wright can change that.
Listen, I'm not
going into the swamp.
I agree with you, but I just need to point out that I'm sorry, Camden, that TD, that Selly, he's coming for you. So I need you to secure Gator Killer. I need you to cement your name there. And hey, if you want to hit him with a little, I'm not gonna say anything.
Yeah, do it for the pod. We also forgot our good friend Xander Seacrest. He's back too.
Xander Seacrest.
And I love the number.
We need a
48. They're just a whatever number, and he just rocks it. He rocks it, man.
Wes was 48, wasn't he?
He was 44. He was 48 his freshman year. Yeah, that's right. He was 44 growing up and 48 his freshman year. Yeah.
Gotcha.
All right. Well, that's kind of all I got for baseball. I'm excited.
Herb Goney did ask, you expect the same weekend rotation of Burns, Doe, and Beam? 100%.
Yeah, no, I do think that.
I'm calling them the Chases. Sorry, it's over, Drew. You're a Chase now. The Chases.
And it's interesting because that wasn't supposed to be like that last year. And it just kind of fell into place. And hopefully that's going to help you out this season with, having to utilize Drew like that.
Yeah.
So
I'm excited.
There'll be no learning curves with the weekend rotation.
No, I'm excited to see how Chase Burns and Drew Beam work through this year. You kind of had some questions if maybe, especially a guy like Drew Beam who hadn't pitched in 2 years, some questions about how long can he sustain what he's doing, and there were some maybe injuries isn't the right word, but just wear and tear from a season-long SEC schedule. So I'm excited to see now that you got 1 year under your belt, can you be more – obviously it's tough to pitch in that league at any age, 18 or 22, but see if you can kind of – body can kind of learn from that and not have those issues pop up.
Yeah, and even if you do, I feel like you have guys that can come in. Seth Halverson's pitched in this league before as a starter. He was Missouri's Friday night guy a couple years ago. He's back healthy. Camden Sewell's a guy that he'd love to start. It's just kind of worked out where he's just been the swing guy for Tennessee. But when he started, he's done a phenomenal job.
Yeah, and you're going to have to utilize guys like that in postseason. It's just kind of written in stone that Camden's going to start a game in the SEC tournament if you go that far. So, yeah, they're definitely not concerned about the guys behind you if you have to utilize, but you definitely want to stay healthier for the entire regular season.
Yeah, and I think this is just going to be a pitching lab pretty much with Frank Anderson at the helm. How do guys not want to come here?
Have we ever had an assistant paid more than a head coach? Has that ever happened? Definitely not in SEC baseball. I'm sorry, Tony, but do whatever you got to do to keep the guy.
Yeah.
Do whatever you got to do.
Yeah.
Get this man a lake house. Does he own a helicopter? We can get him a helicopter.
He probably doesn't even like. He just seems so content. Like he just doesn't.
You know that
So
dude that was Bryce DeChambeau's swing coach? I don't know if you ever saw those videos. He turned his living room into a driving range, essentially. That I imagine Frank Anderson has a big house just so he can have hitting cages that his pitchers can come throw in. That's what I imagine. He doesn't care about furniture. He's just building baseball, baby.
He just got like bands all around his house that they can come like
Yeah,
swarm up a little bit.
he's that guy.
Who's the get back coach? That's Zerk. I forgot Zerk. Zerk is the get back coach.
He always does look surprised by his roles, but he is out there quicker than I think most people could be.
Yeah.
I wonder if he has a "oh, here we go again" moment. He can
Sure.
probably see the calls. Very intelligent when it comes to baseball. He can probably see the calls happen and just know, like, I better get in front.
Yeah. I'm sure like he's sitting there and he's just like, no. And then he just full takeoff.
Well, and baseball pants don't really have like actual belt loops. You know, you see the get back coaches in college grabbing the loop. In baseball, it's a little bit different. I mean, it's like you'd have to slide that finger all the way in. So,
whoa.
More important issues after dark.
Yeah. Hey, clip that.
Speaking of, you also never – I don't know how long our background has said 2022, but it is definitely 2023. I feel like I need to put that out there.
I feel like – has that been like that for –
at least 2 episodes?
Dang. Oh, well.
We're attention to detail over here, guys. Don't worry about us.
Yeah, baseball. Woo. Don't be mad at me because I tweeted it's officially baseball season. It is officially baseball season. That's a fact.
Yeah, and I want to give a shout out. Speaking of these great pitchers and great players, shout out to Underdog Sports. I mean, I've got a number 1 overall draft pick autograph.
There you go.
We've got Christian Moore, and then Maui Huna. I could have Landon. We might be sitting on 3 All-American autographs. Yeah, it's potential.
Yeah, could very well. I love it. Let's give them another little Underdog real quick. So Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectible store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia, like you saw from Caleb. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autograph helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT grads and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. Open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember, always bet the Underdog. Love them. Go check them out, guys.
Shout out. You got some questions for us?
I do have some questions. So these are submitted by some fans. So, or not this first one, but the other 2 are. The first one I got, what is your 3 college programs you hate the most? Any sport.
Kentucky, Alabama, Vanderbilt.
Any sport in particular?
Alabama football, Kentucky basketball, Vanderbilt, pick baseball or football, either one.
Dang it. I had that same thing, Caleb.
Okay.
Great
We'll change it up. Carson Inman. Specifically their water polo team. They're some jackwagons.
Yeah.
Yeah. UT Southern, formerly Martin Methodist. I don't know why. Just don't like them. Just out of here. Okay. And my third, I'm sorry, Joe, and the great people of Philadelphia, Duquesne. And Duquesne is they're not the Dukes, are they? That'd be too stupid. I just hate the way they spell their name. And then if you've ever looked at their football/soccer field, I think they have a football team. It is the dumbest field configuration I've ever seen in my entire life.
Okay. I like that.
Let me pull it up. I've got to pull this up. You can give me. I need you to 3 me off the dome since I just did 3 off the dome.
Okay. I'm gonna go Shane Beamer.
Just him?
Yeah, just him in general. Yeah. I mean, if there's one coach I just hate, I don't know why, but like these past 2 years, like my hate for Shane Beamer has just been through the roof. Shane Beamer. I hate USC. I just think that those McDonald's colors playing in the Coliseum where they have a freaking racetrack now, I mean, it's just trash.
Dude, that race. I mean, I'm not into NASCAR anyways, but I can understand like why live people like it. I get that. I don't get how anybody could watch that.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Okay, this might be kind of hard to see on here. Did you have was that your second or third?
That was my second.
Okay, give me your third.
Florida. I hate Florida so much.
That makes sense. So, yeah, this is kind of hard to see, but if you look,
What in the heck?
if you look at their soccer lines, they come all the way to the bottom before the stands. But they, on the other side, they only go 3 yards past the white line in football. Not past the out of bounds line, but like the coach's box in football. It's the dumbest field configuration I've ever seen. It'd be like if you think playing on as a soccer player playing on football lines or as a football player playing on soccer lines confusing. I can't imagine this when the field's off center. It's obnoxious, and I hate them for it. And they are the Dukes. I told you, give me any. They're not any FBS in football. Give me any mascot. I got you.
That circle is rough, man.
And then look at this, Duquesne. Who spells Duquesne that way?
Also, like from here, it just looks like Deuce is on one side of the end zone, and the other end zone, Deuce is on the other side. It looks stupid.
It's bad. And what really pisses me off is I feel like it could be a really, really cool stadium because it's kind of in the middle of everything. Like you see where I'm zooming out? Like that could be really cool. No, we're gonna configure it in this terrible way.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Joe. I've got to cheer for the Chiefs in this one now. That's
because of Duquesne.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Duquesne sucks. I'm just kidding. EA. We gave him getting on the flight for Vegas. I gave someone a little EAGLES.
A little honorable mention.
Eagles.
For
Vegas,
yeah. Joey Boots said F Duquesne. Yeah, he's not a big fan either. Love it. Another one that's kind of getting me is Arkansas baseball.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Dave Van Horn.
But you hate Vanderbilt baseball more. Like they're on your OG list.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Tim Corbin's way worse than Dave Van Horn.
Just want to make sure.
Yeah. Shane Beamer's worse than both of them, though.
So who was your third one? Arkansas baseball? Is that your official third?
Yeah, I guess I thought I said a third one. Oh, I said Florida. Yeah, Florida.
Are you mad at me for my Carson Newman take? Or
No,
are you close to those water polo guys?
No.
I don't even
I'm
remember.
not close.
Oh, it's UT Martin. Or not UT Martin. Martin Methodist.
Yeah, I don't care. Like, I enjoyed my time there. I have no reason to ever go back. I love the people there.
Dude, Jeff City's destination town.
No, it's not. The only reason why Jeff City is even on a map anymore is because it has pals.
Have you never been to Cherokee Dam, my friend? Clearly.
I have, yeah. And it used to give me freaking that water used to give me freaking ear infections.
That's why you got ear infections. Okay. Mm-hmm.
It is. It's contaminated water. I did a science project on it.
On the water at Cherokee Dam?
Yeah, apparently like a couple of years ago, like a sewer line broke under the lake. So it's
And you did a science project on this?
Yeah. I had to go like sample the water and like test it.
Did you drink it?
Hell no. I probably have, but
What's our next question? We're gonna tangent the hell out of the show.
Biggest concern for Tony's team heading into baseball season.
Probably the same thing that's plaguing this basketball team right now. You know they're really good, so can they be consistent for 50 games, assuming they play that many? For me, because I mean it's a new team, not new, but you got a lot of new faces that haven't had to play ahead in the full season. So yeah, I think that's my only question. Can they be good for the whole season?
Say it one more time. Sorry, I got breaking news just on my phone.
You're good.
So.
Consistency, just being consistent throughout the season. I know I know a lot of the players are really good, so can they do it for a full season?
Yeah, I think it's got to be the same thing last year. Last year you replaced pretty much everybody, so
that's true.
I don't think you're replacing everybody because I don't think the pitching staff is what you're worrying about. But you do have to replace every position player pretty much. Now you have a lot of talent behind it. And I think it's better than last year, but catcher is still a question mark for me. Jared
kind of
Dickey apparently is going to be in the outfield to start.
And you thought
we'll
it was going to
see.
be Dickey too. So
Yeah.
even more of a question mark.
Which kind of makes me feel better, right?
Yeah, I agree. Because, you heard Connor Pavoloni talking about Charlie Taylor. Like, the dude's a stud behind the plate. I got to imagine the only real question for him is what's he going to be in the batter's box?
Yeah. Speaking of Connor Pavoloni, he sent me some breaking news.
Oh, okay.
So the World Baseball Classic is about to start, and guess who got a roster spot? Liam Spence for Australia.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Aussie.
So it's when you say about to start, it is about to be on, like, the game is about to start, or they're going to like a camp.
Yeah, it's like a
is it an all-star game? That's it?
No, it's not. Yeah, it's like a big, I guess, tournament. I guess that's
right.
It's kind of like how you'd play the Olympics.
Like okay, so like he's about to go to like train with them.
Correct. Yes,
okay,
he made the Australian team. Yes,
sweet.
I think.
Awesome.
Otani's playing for Japan. There's some. Yeah, it's a World Cup of baseball. Thank you. I'm not going to say the rest of what you said, John.
I've definitely seen this played, but I didn't know what it was called.
That's really cool that he earned a roster spot, and that dude is just a freak.
Yeah, he's a stud.
When you look at him, you're like, no, he just doesn't wow you physically, but
he does not look like a baseball player.
Dude freaking lights it up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Mine would probably be my biggest concern is probably still catcher, but having to replace every position player is, you just got to find fits. And last year, everything just kind of fit together and worked. I think there's a ton of talent on this team, but you still have to have that buy-in and, it's work. So that'd be my concern going forward. But hey, we got plenty of talent, man. We got plenty of it. Oozing with talent, if you will. Last one I got, it pertains to basketball. So do you think Barnes prevents this team from playing loosely?
I definitely think there's a different style in him and Tony Vitello.
Mm-hmm.
But I also feel like they're on Tony's on a very far end of the spectrum. That is not common in any sport to really see that. And I think Josh Heupel is closer to Tony Vitello than he is Rick Barnes. But as of right now,
kind of both.
I don't know if it's even that he's a good mixture, but as of right now, I don't think you can say that he lets his team play quite as loose as Tony. But they're also two different disciplines, two different sports. Football is a sport where every down you have to be very disciplined because you could play good, but you could also get penalized. It could be a drive-killing penalization. In baseball, you have kind of off plays where if you make the simple mistakes in baseball could be glaring, but they also could be really simple. You take a strike on a ball you maybe should have swung at. Well, good news, you do have another opportunity for that. And you have to be super disciplined in baseball. And it's a game of failures, but I just think they're two different disciplines.
Yeah,
and one's a little more rigorous in that sense. So I don't know yet. I definitely think this is a long-winded way of saying I think Rick is a lot stricter than the other two coaches we watch a lot, but I don't know if he's military or anything.
Yeah, I think it depends on the player too. Zakai, it doesn't seem to bother him to getting pulled and yelled at. Like, you can go back in there and score 15 points right off the rip, and it doesn't mean it. Grant was that same way. Admiral was that same way. Justin Powell comes in here and was just scared to death to shoot.
Right.
It just didn't work out. And I think I think it happens for whatever. I'm not saying Julian Phillips is that same way, because the way he's played in some games, you don't see that. But if he was a little bit looser, does he go up and just cram that ball in the rim and it's game over?
Yeah, well, and I guess I was looking at it a little bit differently. I was looking at it as players being themselves. You mean literally just going out and making mistakes. I was looking at that a tad differently. I think there are definitely, like you said, I think there are guys that are terrified of making mistakes, but we've seen it. I mean, like you just mentioned Zakai. I mean, everyone, I'm sorry for my language. I just don't know how else to say it. I had to watch it for 2 hours. They bitched and moaned about Zakai having a long leash against Mississippi State. He ends up winning us the game. So, I mean, I think, yeah, some guys have short leashes, but you can earn a long leash from Rick Barnes.
Yeah.
So I think it's probably bad for some guys, but what's bad for some guys is probably good for others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, another thing kind of going into it, does Rick Barnes let players kind of play within themselves and be themselves? Uro shouldn't be on this team if he was too strict. I mean, the man could earn a tech every game.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think he is a different person, different coach than the other two, but let's not pretend he's whipping guys back at practice facility.
Yeah. I don't know. Last night, it definitely didn't seem like he was loose. Some of those guys were loose, but if you're years in the program and it's still bothering you, I don't think you're going to work out here. And if it's not working for you in college with that, it's definitely not going to work out in the NBA.
Yeah.
So, all right. Stupidity.
My first one. Did you see this Oklahoma basketball game? It was a barn burner. Ended 4-2.
No way,
dude. It was. That's terrible, but it's hilarious. The best part about it is the team that was stalling obviously lost.
Mm-hmm.
They gave up. I will give it credit. I don't think they gave up a single field goal. They're all 4 from free throws, I'm pretty sure. So I guess that's something to hang your hat on. Yeah, that's the whole game's on TikTok. You can watch it all on TikTok. I don't know. One thing that is funny to me is the other coach is always going to be pissed off about that. But just go play defense, and they have to play basketball.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if you're up 2-0, then yeah, sit back and let them pass around. But if you just go play defense, you could run like a 1-3-1 and trap them in every corner. If a team's holding a basketball, I promise there's at least 2 guys out on that court that probably can't pass good. So try to get the ball to them.
I would rather lose 100-50 than 4-2.
I think I would too. Unless I have the 2 points and I can kind of walk away being like, I did my job, guys. Where were you at?
1 for 1. My first one is a Georgia memorabilia company is selling a signed print of Javon Bullard's hit on Marvin Harrison Jr. and the caption is "Night Night." Marvin Harrison Jr. suffered a concussion on that play.
Yeah, you're all scumbags. I saw that, and we know the shot tunnel incident. You're all scumbags.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just.
Can we talk about I think, was it Chubb that got injured, or was it Gurley that got injured in Neyland? Can't remember which one.
It was Chubb, and who was the other one from South Carolina?
That wasn't in Neyland. They always say it's in Neyland. That was at South Carolina.
Oh, it was?
Yeah, it was at South Carolina. And then the people that do know is at South Carolina say it was a dirty hit. I've seen it. I mean, yeah, it's not a great hit, but I mean, he's a running back. He gets tackled. It was a DB that hit him. I can't remember who. And he hit him in his knee. I'm just like, we couldn't tackle
Lattimore. That was who.
Lattimore. It was Lattimore. 2012, we couldn't tackle. You think our guy is going to successfully get a guy on his knee? That was the worst tackling football team probably in Tennessee history outside of 2020 Tennessee. So it may have been dirty, but it definitely wasn't Tennessee's field fault because it was in Williams-Brice.
Yeah, well, we didn't coach any defense that year,
no.
So we definitely weren't putting hits out like Sean Payton.
Yeah, and then the Nick Chubb injury, they're like, "Oh, they cheered. I heard it." Okay, I'm sure you were in that stadium. I'm sure you heard it.
If Nick Chubb wasn't playing against your team anymore, you would be cheering too. Okay. I
Don't give
mean,
them
good
ammo.
God.
Don't give them ammo. They believe that, Landon. That is that's real.
I mean, we didn't want to, but the fact that he wasn't in the game anymore, it was a sigh of relief because that dude's a
Oh
freak.
yeah. I won't say I didn't. I won't say hey, get better next week. I won't say I didn't say that, but
Yeah. Got one more, and it's Russell Wilson. Speaking of Sean Payton,
yeah, is this real? I assume this is what you're talking about. I don't know.
yeah, the investigation has found out that Russell Wilson's foundation has spent just 24.3 cents of every dollar on charitable activities in 2020 and 2021 combined. So raised millions, but only a quarter of it actually went to charity. So yikes.
And
He needs more money, right?
You notice his Subway commercial doesn't run anymore? I mean, he's had a bad year, dude.
He is.
He's
He's become the scum of the NFL. He should have stayed in Seattle where no one cares.
True. Yeah, does he really have his own office? Is that real?
Apparently, he has like his own team. And Sean Payton was asked about like what he thinks about. He's like, I won't really comment on it, but that's not going to happen.
Can't wait to see all that play out. That drama's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
This one comes from Dave Imnian on Twitter. This is more just stupid teams. SPHL drama in Danville, where hosts Vermilion County never showed up for game versus Quad City. It's a forfeit win for QC. Most bizarre thing I've ever seen in 40 years covering pro hockey. QC busted in, skated warm-ups, lined up, national anthem, face-off, skated lap, then saluted the crowd. So I think I'm reading this right. The home team didn't show up, which is amazing. I haven't read more of this story yet. I saw this when we were in Vegas, and I didn't really look at my phone in Vegas, so I only screenshotted it to go read the story. I just haven't read it yet. So,
That's strange. How does a home team not show up? That's
yeah.
I'd like to see the stats on how many home teams have ever forfeited because they didn't show up.
It would be very low, my friend. That sounds just absurdly stupid.
Yeah. That's all I got.
That's it for me, guys. It's been fun. Thank you all for showing up late. We're here anytime except for when we're in Vegas, I guess. Sorry, that was too soon. Hey, we'll bounce back versus Missouri. I know we didn't talk about that game, but I'm a Tennessee fan. I got to believe. So bounce back Saturday.
It's at home, so you got to bounce back at home for sure.
Exactly.
Guys, we'll be back on Sunday, hopefully talking about a win over Missouri. And y'all have a good Friday, good Saturday. And we'll see you back. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.